Good morning, and welcome to the 64th Forsyth Central High School Commencement Ceremony. My name is Michael Muth, and I'm your senior class vice president. I'd like to get this party started this morning and help y'all wake up a little bit by beginning with a few of the many incredible accomplishments we had this year at the C House. Feel free to applaud along the way. Our esports team was crowned GHSA runner-up in only their second year of existence. Our Skills USA cosmetology program finished 8th in the nation and achieved the coveted Model of Excellence status. Our softball team made it back to state playoffs for the second straight year. Competition cheer finished in the top 6 all 4 years we were at Central. Girls basketball made their second straight trip to the state playoffs. Our world-famous Flash of Crimson marching band again dominated our county in size, scope, and performance. The theater program at Central continues to be the envy of those all around. Our DECA program hit the mark of being the 7th largest chapter in the world during our time at Central. We successfully launched both the Arts and Entertainment Institute as well as our Humanities Institute during our time. And before the seasons were called, baseball was on track to have a banner year, and men's soccer received a national ranking of 14th in the country. Oops. And finally, in case you didn't know, this faculty, staff, and the class of 2020 have been rated by Forsyth County newsreaders as the best high school in Forsyth for all 4 years we were here. So after a brief look to the past, a T.S. Eliot quote comes to mind. The quote reads, "For last year's words belong to last year's language, and next year's words await another voice. And to make an end is to make a beginning." Fellow seniors, we are at the end of our beginning. But that end truly marks a new start. We are now able to embark on a new phase of life. The opportunities we have before us are endless. Let us take our lessons from these past 13 years of school and chart a new course, our own course, that will lead to personal fulfillment and joy. Perhaps most importantly, let us find purpose in all that we do as we move forward. Thank you. Unfortunately, our senior class secretary, Maddie Richardson, could not be here today. We miss you, Maddie. At this time, I would like to introduce our senior class treasurer, Miss Yasmin Saber.
Good morning. At this time, I would like you all to please stand and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing, and gentlemen, kindly remove your caps for the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner. We are greatly honored to be joined this morning by several very important guests. Please rise when I call your name. We are honored to have several of our Board of Education members. Our Board Vice Chairperson from District 2, Ms. Kristen Morrissey. From District 1, Mr. Weasley McCall. And Ms. Darla Light from District 4. We are also delighted to have our central office leaders, Deputy Superintendent Mr. Joey Perkle. Out there among you this morning are members of our law enforcement community, Mr. Todd Shirley and his team from School Safety. And our very own school resource officers from the Forsyth County Sheriff's Department, Ms. Deidre Lotspeech and Mr. J.P. Kirshner. One very special group of people that we want to recognize are our guidance counselors, Mr. Rafael Santiago, Ms. Martha Chatlin, Ms. Jamie DeCaro, Ms. Andrea Katz, Ms. Manal Nabalsi, and Ms. Kylie Swanberg. We would like to recognize 3 people who worked very hard alongside our teachers and counselors to push and pull several of us to this point today. Ms. Stephanie Duran, Mr. Joe Steed, and our very own graduation coach, Ms. Paula Zamas. Please join me in recognizing the Queen of Wellness herself, Ms. Karen Cole. It also gives me great pleasure to introduce you to the 2020 Forsyth Central High School Teacher of the Year, Ms. Denny Proctor. Finally, with us today are our own Forsyth Central administrators, Dr. Josh Lowe, Mr. Casey Martin, Mr. TJ Maniscalco, Ms. Priscilla St. Jean, Ms. Amanda Thrower, Ms. Heidi Hepler, Ms. Angela Hurt, Mr. Chris Woodall, Mr. Dan Kaplan, and our principal, Mr. Mitch Young. Now, at this time, please welcome our senior class president, Ms. Wendy Hahn.
All right, same thing. Good morning. Class of 2020, it's been a long haul, but we made it. 720 days of high school have come and gone, and with that, we enter a new phase of our lives. As we celebrate, though, let us not forget those who helped us so much along the way. Grandparents, parents, guardians of the 2020 graduates, I would like to ask you at this time to stand and be recognized. Okay. Come on, stand. Woo-hoo! As Forsyth Central has the longest and most storied history of any school in this county, we also have the largest alumni base. If you have graduated from Forsyth Central, please stand and be recognized. As many of you know, we are fortunate to be supported by the Forsyth Central Alumni Association. Their purpose is to provide resources to help preserve our history, enhance current facilities, and invest in our future. They are providing each one of us graduating today with a one-year membership into this organization. We thank you. As we enjoy the ceremony in this amazing country, let us honor those among us who have made our freedom possible through their service. If you have served, or if you have a loved one who is currently enlisted or has given their life while in the United States Armed Services, please stand and let us thank you. We are proud to recognize several of our classmates who will be pursuing careers in the United States Armed Forces after high school. At this time, I would like to call the names of our brave classmates so that we can publicly thank them. Joining the U.S. Marines is Daniela Netzahwati Mani. Joining the U.S. Army are Nicholas Griffin and Garrett Cooper. Joining the U.S. Navy are Petros Campilis and Matt Smith. And Silas Watts will be joining the U.S. Air Force. Two of our classmates made Eagle Scout this year, Trent Drenkard and Sean Osterwise. Each year, we recognize those students who have achieved a 4.0 or higher GPA over the course of their high school career. This year, we have 102 senior scholars with high honors. Please rise. Come on, rise. We also recognize those who have achieved a 3.5 or higher GPA as our honor graduates. This year, we recognize 295 honor graduates. Take a bow. Come on. This ceremony marks the 6th group of STEM students who endured 4 years of the most rigorous program offered in Forsyth County. Will the red-trimmed graduates of the STEM Academy please rise? Our 2020 star student is Julia Valère. Her selection for the star teacher was Miss Antonia Alberga Parisi. The class of 20 has, to date, raked in over $4.5 million in scholarship money. We are thrilled to share that we had 4 National Merit semifinalists this year, a school record. Let us recognize Shruti Chikti, Sophia Mary Griffith, Courtney Patton, who also won the National Merit UGA Scholarship, Julia Valère, who was the prestigious National Merit Eastman Scholarship winner. Great events like this don't just simply happen. It takes great effort by many hardworking and incredibly organized people. That amazing senior video you were able to watch earlier today was the work of the fantastic Mr. Jason Handline. Miss Amy Neal and the members of the senior chorus will perform today. Please rise and take a bow. Leading our senior class this year, which means organizing our events, coordinating the ceremony, and generally herding cats, are Miss Becky Dean, and the recently retired teacher turned grandma, Miss Angie Richards. Last, but definitely not least, we know that there's no way any of us would be here without the most caring, most dedicated teachers in the world. Would the faculty and staff of Forsyth County Central High please rise and take a much-deserved bow? Take a bow. Mr. Young, take a bow. There you go. All right. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to present Shrikar Vedarupaka, who was chosen to give this year's senior address.
Check. Check, check. Okay. Good morning, class of 2020. Mr. Young, Mr. Perkle, teachers, faculty, and staff, thank you for giving me the honor to speak in front of the best classmates I could ever ask for. And let's give all of them a massive cheer for making graduation happen. All of us know that this ceremony is being held in this manner because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And I would like to take a moment and thank all of the first responders and essential workers who are either here or watching online at home for saving those in need despite your health being at risk. To everyone else, thank you for doing your part by wearing a mask, staying at home, and binge watching Netflix and YouTube as much as possible, because we all know that these things have helped mitigate the spread of the disease and has saved many lives. One intention I wish persists after undergoing this tragic experience is genuinely living as if we exist in a community and not just by ourselves. And another idea I hope everyone will encourage is that we all must continue to work together to reach that fundamental connection in where we see each other as human beings. Nothing more, nothing less. Class of 2020, today's an exciting day as we celebrate an emotional gathering of our community, reunite with some of the most special people in our lives, and mark the end of our beautiful chapter at the C House. I want to congratulate everyone on their hard work in order to be here. Just like many of you, I can't even believe 4 years have gone by. From being the first freshman class to experience the luxury of the stub, witnessing our football team reach the playoffs after 17 years, achieving national STEM certification for our STEM Academy, and seeing the Flash of Crimson Marching Band win 3 grand championships in a row. We truly have many accomplishments to relish and reflect upon. We can be grateful for the friends, teachers, and mentors who have guided us throughout our journeys. We can love the second home Central has been for us these past 4 years. To our brilliant teachers, we are grateful for your insightful teachings and engaging stories that not only taught the subject, but supplied the tools to help better navigate life. To our fantastic coaches, we are thankful for your emphasis on dedication, determination, and discipline. To our inspirational Mr. Young, thank you for always supporting us, keeping everyone safe, and letting us know that nothing good happens after midnight. Speaking of our teachers again, many of them have ignited the fire that fuels our thirst for knowledge, wisdom, and curiosity. Some of the teachers I would like to recognize are Mr. Schuyler, Mr. Grass, and Mr. Tucker. Mr. Schuyler was my AP Biology and Biotechnology teacher, and he has propelled his students to become stronger critical thinkers and a potent force in the realm of STEM. Mr. Grass and Mr. Tucker were my band teachers, and they have not only given me the humbling privilege to lead the best band in the land, but they have empowered every band student to serve and make people smile through the beauty of music. Class of 2020, our teachers have evolved us into ambassadors. Ambassadors of Central, ambassadors of the Forsyth community, and ambassadors of ourselves. One teacher who has been an exceptional role model to many of her students and one of the many influences in my decision to be your commencement speaker today is Mrs. Parisi. She was my AP Lang teacher junior year, and she is one of the many individuals at our school who encourages self-confidence and self-expression. Mrs. Parisi gifted me with the discovery of my voice. And through her guidance, I came to realize that a voice is simply a mechanism in which you use your emotions, thoughts, and intelligence to create a message and make an impact. I was able to take this blessing and enhance it with my AP Lit teacher, Dr. Lero. If Mrs. Parisi helped me find my voice, then Dr. Lero helped me trust it. And those are some of the best gifts that I will forever treasure. Class of 2020, we must utilize the priceless knowledge and the invaluable gifts we have gained at Central to move forward and to transform the trajectory of our futures. Okay. Though we're going our separate ways, we have created a tight-knit bond that will continue to hold us together. We will remember laughing with our friends during Power Hour. We will remember supporting our school wholeheartedly during sporting events. We will remember the one prom night we definitely had. But most importantly, we will cherish the lessons we have learned as a Central Bulldog. However, we must understand that high school is just one story in our life. One story. We must acknowledge that we are far more complex than the roles we assign ourselves in our stories, and that there's always something greater we're striving for. To me, it's achieving change. Changing ourselves, changing our circumstances, or changing our futures. Change is inevitable. Except from a vending machine. Remember when people used to ask us, what do you want to be when you grow up? Some of us answered that we would like to be doctors, lawyers, engineers, teachers, musicians. But most of us probably said, I don't know. I don't have a 2020 vision. It's okay. After walking through high school, I feel like I found the answer to that question. If someone were to ask me again, what do you want to be when you grow up? I would say happy. I want to be happy. This is the atmosphere Central has provided us these past 4 years. A second place, a second family, a second home, where we can be happy for who we are and grow into better human beings. Now, class of 2020, let's give a big round of applause to the people who allowed us to experience this wonderful high school journey, our families. They are the ones who understand us more than we understand ourselves. They are the ones who unconditionally support us, despite our mistakes, despite our flaws. We are in great debt to those who love us. To my family, my biggest fans, thank you for making me who I am. Class of 2020, be phenomenal. And remember, once a bulldog, always a bulldog. And we're a powerhouse because this is the Sea House. Thank you very much, everyone. It has been an absolutely amazing 4 years. And before I go, don't forget to create your message and make an impact. Thank you.
At this time, please join me in recognizing the top students in the class of 2020. Let's give it up to the 2020 salutatorian, Miss Yuna Lee. And finishing number 1 in our class, please give a huge hand to our 2020 valedictorian, Mr. Matthew McKenna. At this time, please welcome to the stage Mateo Sanabria, who will sing Keep Your Head Up by Andy Grammer.
I can't deny they're getting higher, higher than my income. My income's breadcrumbs. I've been trying to survive. Know that the sun gives right around sunset helps me realize this is just a journey. Drop your worries, you're gonna turn out fine. Oh, you turn out fine. Fine. Oh, you turn out fine. But you gotta keep your head up. Oh, and let your head down. Hey, you gotta keep your head up. Oh, and let your head down. Hey, I know it's hard. No, it's hard to remember sometimes, but you gotta keep your head up. Oh, and let your head down. Hey, 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 hey. Got my hands in my pockets, kicking these rocks. It's kinda hard to watch this life go by. Buying the skeptics mess with the confidence in my eyes. I'm seeing all the angles start to get tangled. I start to compromise my life and my purpose. Is it all worth it? Am I gonna turn out fine? Oh, you turn out fine. Fine. Oh, you turn out fine. gotta keep your head up. Oh, you can let your head down. Yeah, you gotta keep your head up. Oh, you can let your head down. Yeah, I know it's hard. No, it's hard to remember sometimes, but you gotta keep your head up. Oh, you can let your head down. Hey, 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 hey. Only rainbows after rain. The sun will always come again, and it's a circle, circling around again, comes around again. I say only rainbows after rain. The sun will always come again, and it's a circle, circling around again, comes around. But you gotta keep your head up. Oh, you can let your head down. Hey, you gotta keep your head up. Oh, you can let your head down. Hey, I know it's hard. No, it's hard to remember sometimes, but you gotta keep your head up. Oh, you can let your head down. Hey, keep your head up. You can let your head down. Keep your head up, and you can let your head down. Keep your head up, and you can let your head down. I said no, 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 no. Thank you, Central.
Awesome job by Mateo. Can we give him another round of applause, please? Now, I would like to introduce our wonderful principal, Mr. Mitch Young.
I like how you added wonderful into that. That was nice. Tough act to follow, tough speech to follow. Mateo, Shrikar, one more time. Great job. Great job. You're supposed to start out every good commencement speech with a famous quote. So I really worked hard on some Churchill quotes and some Aristotle. He had some great thoughts on courage. But it's 2020. This didn't seem to fit. So I settled on the words of the great Jerry Garcia. What a long, strange trip it's been. What do you say to the class of 2020? Where to begin? I could start at the beginning of the school year. A few of you were called into my office, as you may recall, and you had to explain why you felt it was okay to steal Denmark's Spirit Couch. Of all the answers we got, perhaps the best explanation given to Coach Kaplan and myself was that you really wanted to use it to redecorate the foxhole. Not everybody will get that joke, but some of you do. That's my attempt at humor, y'all. In my 6 years serving as Central's principal, and it's been such an honor, I've never struggled with just what to say to a graduating group of seniors until this year. And it's not because there's nothing to say, it's because there's so much going on in our world and so much to say. We're smack dab in the middle of an historic crisis, really. And when you're in the middle of something historical, it's really hard to get perspective. It's even harder to try to pull out long-term meaning or big picture lessons, so I'm not even going to try. There's certainly been some blessings that we've experienced during this global pandemic, and I'll mention those. We've had an opportunity to spend time together, really, really together with our families. And while seniors, some of you probably wanted to pull your hair out and scream at all that time with your families, your parents and your guardians, like me, know that this was probably a little bit of a gift of time with you guys that we'll probably never get to experience again. Another thing that we've learned is just how much we need people. We as people need to be with other people. Our devices supposedly have us more connected than at any other time in history, but I think what we've all learned the hard way is there's no connection like human to human, face-to-face connection. As a nation, And when I slow down and dab, I normally say it's because I have a cold, but I'm afraid if I say a cold, everybody's going to run for the halls. So as a nation, we are known for our fast-paced lifestyle. And we've been forced over the last several months to slow down a bit. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think as a result, at least for me and probably a lot of you, this slowdown has actually given us an opportunity to think and to reflect. And that's probably why I have so many things to say to you. And I see Becky Dean rolling her eyes and tapping her watch. I'm not going to say everything that I have to say, but there's a few reflections that I want to send you guys out into the world with. You're about to move into the workforce or into college or the military, and these are going to be my parting thoughts to you. I've got to make up for lost time. First, I want to share with you my love for the United States of America. I love this country. I love the ideals that were spelled out in our founding documents, the Declaration of Independence, our Constitution, our Bill of Rights. I love that our founding fathers recognized that they were not perfect men. They were not perfect humans. They were not all-knowing. They didn't have all the solutions, and they realized that. They knew problems and challenges were going to come along that they had no answers to. But geniusly, they created a system that would be able to change with the times. It's often been criticized as being a slow-changing system, and it has been too slow in many areas, but it is at least a system that allows us to improve and evolve over time. And we have miles to go, but y'all, we have improved and we have evolved for the better. I also love that we have a long history of men and women who've given the ultimate sacrifice to protect the freedoms spelled out in those documents. Courageous heroes, and some of them out there among us today, who have striven to extend freedom to all who live here, as well as to the oppressed throughout the world. Yes, we still have miles to go, but the willingness to sacrifice has and will continue to be a part of our American character. I love that we, as a collection of peoples from all over the world, have looked to the spirit of those founding documents as a set of common goals or a common set of values to aspire to achieve and to share with our fellow man and woman. We call these shared ideals the American dream. And this year, I was able to meet with about 569 out of 631 seniors that we had. Yes, the pandemic kept some of you from your senior meeting, and I hate that, but I got to meet with a lot of you. And I can tell you from those meetings, the American dream is alive and well. For those of you that remember sitting in my office, you answered the question about what does the American dream mean to you? You shared your dreams of prosperity, of choosing a career for yourself. Some of you shared your appreciation for the relative freedom from violence that we enjoy and take for granted in this country every day. You shared of growing up in a place where you can both worship freely and speak your minds freely. And guys, I say all that to say what we have in common with each other is so much stronger than those things that divide us. And please don't ever lose sight of that. Now, if what I said is true, all right, then why is it that we seem to be such a divided, angry nation? What is the problem? What are the solutions? Can we be together? Can we heal? Those are questions worth asking, worth reflecting on, and worth tackling as you move into your roles as leaders and as healthy and productive Americans. And those questions bring me to my second point that I reflected on over this time away. Just where is all this anger coming from? Now, according to a wide variety of psychology-based sources, anger is considered a secondary, internal emotion, triggered by external stressors such as anxiety, shame, injustice, guilt, disappointment, pain, embarrassment, jealousy, frustration. And if you list out the 9 things that I just said, it kind of sounds like the things that keep our 24-hour news and our social media in business, doesn't it? I was not educated as a clinical psychologist. I'm just an observer of history and culture and politics. But as I understand the root cause of most of this anger that I've just described, the primary underlying emotion that triggers this anger is fear. In fact, it's considered a psychological truth that fear leads to anger. Let me give a few examples and see if you can relate to any of these. Fear of not getting our way leads to anger. Fear of losing power and control when we're used to being in power and control leads to anger. Fear that others are not going to get fair treatment can lead to anger. Fear of not being heard or respected can lead to anger. Fear of getting hurt, either physically or emotionally, can lead to anger. Fear I might get embarrassed or be judged, or fear of failing, or fear of being let down, all potential triggers for anger. So what's my point with all this? If we understand that the anger that we see and hear all around us is at the root caused by the other person's fear, then maybe we could try to treat angry people a little bit differently. Maybe we could understand that the best answer to anger is not more anger. I mean, think of it in these terms. How many of you would yell or scream or simply dismiss somebody if you saw them trembling or crying for help or sad about loss as their expression of fear? You wouldn't. Instead, if you saw somebody with those emotions, you would try to comfort them. You would listen to them. You would try to help them. You would try to understand what it is they're so afraid of and how you could help them overcome that fear. In the end, you might even end up feeling sorry for them. That's how you need to try, at least try to address these angry people all around us. Listen to what they're saying, empathize, help them to try to overcome their fear. And just as important, y'all, it's the key to understanding some of your own anger if you're one of those angry people. When you feel yourself getting heated up or you start to get into rage mode, stop before you open your mouth or before you hit the post button and ask yourself these two questions. What is it that I'm really so afraid of? And then ask, is what I'm about to say or post going to help resolve the situation or inflame it? Okay, now I'm not suggesting that you should go around suppressing all your fears and angers. I'm not saying that. That can lead to deeper issues. What I'm saying is that you need to find a positive outlet. You need a trusted friend or a counselor or a mentor or someone who's been in your shoes that can show you a constructive use of your anger and a positive way forward. Go through life with mentor. Everybody up here, we all lean into our mentors. Maybe you should tap into your Miss Cole thinking and just start breathing deeply every day when you start to feel that coming on. If you love this country like I do, if you want to see us ease up on some of the anger and actually start talking with one another then, as opposed to at each other, then my third and final point of reflection is this, and it's a question for you to think about. What are you going to be for during your lifetime? My good friend Tom Fowler recently gave me a book written by Jeff Henderson, who's a pastor with North Point Ministries, and he's a former executive with Chick-fil-A. His book is called Know What You're For. And while it's kind of a book marketed to business leaders and organizational leaders, I think it also applies to our own brand that we're trying to create, or our own reputations that we're developing. Mr. Henderson asked these two questions I want you to consider. What do you want to be known for in your life? That's question number one. Question number two is a little more difficult. What are you actually known for by others? So what do you want to be known for, and what are you actually known for? If those two things aren't the same, then that's got to be your immediate focus when you leave here today. You have got to bridge that gap. Guys, it's so easy to rant and rave and rage about all the things that you're against. But what are you for? That takes more work, and really it takes, as Shrikar mentioned earlier, it takes critical thinking. So as you grapple with those two questions about what do you want to be known for and what are you actually known for, let me throw some 2 cents in there to help you with this. And if I could scream this out from the top of my lungs, I would. Do not let others determine what you want to be known for. The fastest way for that to happen in this politically charged, social media-driven, red state, blue state world that we're living is to buy into this concept that you have to accept a label. Well, I'm a conservative, or I'm a liberal, or I'm a Yankee, or I'm a millennial, or whatever. You get the point. Labels are someone else's thinking. And along those same lines, don't use labels as a weapon against others. Oh, you're such a boomer. You're such a snowflake. Don't use the broad brush to paint others. That's easy, that's lazy. We've spent the last 4 years at Central trying to lead you all to be critical thinkers, problem solvers who will communicate and who will serve. Critical thinkers don't allow themselves to be persuaded or bullied into thinking only as the group thinks or as the news tells you to think. Critical thinkers can look beyond talking points and 30-second snippets and do a little research for themselves. If you want to be known for something, you have to think for yourself. You have to fight the fear, which, by the way, can lead to anger, that your own view and your own thinking, as you articulate it, might get you booted out of your label group. You have to be willing to carry at the same time what the rest of the world, what society tells you are actually opposing, conflicting views. You got to be willing to reject that, because if you've done your own logical thinking, you may come to a different result, and you may feel strongly about two things that the world says are opposing. For example, let me pause real quick. I'm giving examples, parents and grandparents and guardians out there. These are examples. They're not necessarily my personal political views, so please don't fill up my email inbox. All right, these are illustrations of how critical thinking is done. As a critical thinker, you might see the American flag as the symbol of the ultimate sacrifices made on our behalf so that we can all live free. At the same time, you might also respect that others have chosen to express that very freedom by kneeling instead of standing before the flag. This is an example of what modern influencers would tell you, that you can't have it both ways. You've got to choose one over the other, that it's a black and white issue. It's not. You can hold multiple views. All right, so here's another. As a critical thinker, you might believe that our black fellow countrymen and women have suffered a long history of underrepresentation and suppression in this country, and you feel that it finally must end. At the same time, you might also believe that violent uprisings and destruction of property should be called out and opposed when you see that happening. You can carry multiple views. That's critical thinking. And as a critical thinker, you might feel compelled to stand up, speak out, and oppose abuse of power when you see it being practiced. At the same time, you can also believe that good policing is absolutely necessary to protect our society and our freedoms. In other words, you can have multiple beliefs that don't fit perfectly into the labels and the narratives that MSNBC or Fox News or others have designed. It's A-okay. When you come to those sorts of conclusions, it probably means you're thinking for yourself. As an American, it is imperative that you take on issues like these. Research all sides of the issues. Form your own opinions. Listen to what other sides are saying, and then discuss and debate in a civil way. You can disagree without demonizing or even labeling those you're in debate with. You can respect others without accepting their view as your own. You don't have to give in to the modern cancel culture when you don't like something that you hear and just ignore them. Not every issue that we debate is all about core values, which means it's okay to compromise from time to time. Compromise does not equal abandonment of all your deep-held beliefs. Compromise is often the way forward. And finally, please know that it's okay over time for you to change your mind on some things. The way you're thinking today as graduates may not be how you think about issues 5, 10, or 15 years from now, and that's growth. All right, so I'll summarize. Enough preaching to you. Let me summarize these three things. Number one, regardless of where any of us came from, we are here in the USA now, and the American dream is real. In fact, it's the very thing that binds all of us in this room together. Number two, you have to re-examine the anger that we are seeing and that we are feeling and recognize that in most cases, it is really a mask for fear, and we should treat it accordingly. And number three, you have to stand for something in your lives. Don't make it all about what you're against. Make it what you are truly for. And that can only happen through critical thinking. Now, along the way, thank you. Along the way, I brought my wife and son in today. So I said, if it gets dead, start the applause for me. So thanks, Nashley. Thank you, Joe. Along the way, guys, you're gonna face setbacks. Some of you already have. You're gonna fail. It's okay. You'll get up, you'll dust yourself off, you'll keep going. When you hit little victories on the way, and you'll succeed because you're Central grads. You'll succeed, and when you succeed, you're gonna celebrate. And when you celebrate, you're gonna do it without the drugs and alcohol. No matter how old you are, you're still gonna call or text when you get where you're going. And you will always remember, nothing good happens after midnight. Congratulations, class of 2020. I think we've got a little bit of business to do now. Mr. Perkle, would you please rise? Deputy Superintendent Perkle, I present to you your alma mater, Forsyth Central High School's 64th graduating class, the class of 2020.
Thank you, Mr. Young. Parents, family, and friends, faculty, staff, Forsyth County Board of Education, and you, senior class. By the virtue of the authority vested in me by the state of Georgia and through the Forsyth County Board of Education, I do hereby confer upon each of you the diploma for which you have qualified. Class of 2020, realize it wasn't easy, but you made it. So congratulations to each and every one of you.
Hello? Before we begin, one announcement. Please refrain from applause and noisemakers, although you are not allowed to bring them in, until all names are called. Thank you very much. Kamal Abbasov. Tamal Abbasov. Brian Aguilar. Leobardo Aguilera Garcia. Victoria Aguilera. Kylie Brindis Ainsworth. Omatessa Matilda Ajabor. Luis Angel Algerin. Best Kennedy. Fidel Mares. R. Murat Aliyev. Kennedy Aleman. Emma Marie Allen. Anna Carolina Almeida. Yasmin Jasmarie Almodovar. Arisbeth Alvarez. Michelle Alvarez. Noah Schreiber. Pilar Ambris Calleros, Amy Rose Anderson, Gabriel Pierce Anderson, Jagger R. Anderson, Yusef Rafiq Andrawes, Elizabeth Lee Appleton, Melody A. Arispe, Michael Arnett, Syed Hassan Arshad, Jackson Parker Aries, Alexandra Noel Ashcraft, Jenna Catherine Auble, William Casey Austin, Nina Nicole Aviles, Nisis Aviles Aguilar, Connor Haynes Azar, Jonathan Henry Bacus, Jeremiah Cameron Bagby, Kelly Marie Bear, Brock Charles Baker, Gabriela Balcazar, Allison Marie Baldwin, Aiden Reese Baldwin, Elijah James Ballard, Nathan Mark Ballard, Gavin Kenneth Lee Barrett, Violeta Lopez Barron, Laya Marie Bartley, Megan Jane Bass, Fatima M. Bayraktarova, Alexis Glenna Beechler, Brooke Elizabeth Beechler, Jennifer Colleen Beatonbow, Keaton Becker Anderson, Jose Uriel Bedoya, Mateo Bejerano, Timothy Michael Bell, Benjamin Beltran, Emiliano Beltran, Monse Beltran, Lainey Marie Benson, Zachary Michael Bergstrom, Nicholas James Bernier, Benjamin Avery Barriere, Brandon Thomas Bick, Nicholas Arden Booker, Noah Park Booth, Coden Michael Bortle, Nikki Bowes, Marley Elizabeth Bowen, Colton James Brennan, Jacob Bradley Bretz, Savannah Laurel Bridges, William Matthew Brock, Christy Elizabeth Brower, Elijah Cole Brown, Isaac Anthony Brown, Skylar Elizabeth Bruce, Carolyn Jane Bryant, Caroline Rachel Marie Burks, Bradshaw Avery Burris, Zoe Catherine Butcher, Riley Ann Byers, Jennifer Giselle Caballero, Angelica Rose Kellingason, Rebecca Isela Camacho, Robert Campfield, Rachel E. Carlisle, Elizabeth Ileana Carrizo, Jackson Keyshawn Carter, Ansley Bryn Carver, Garrison Allen Carver, Susan Case, Manil Kavrick, Amanda Catherine Cesario, Coley Preston Chapman, Jacob Daniel Chastain, Mindy Chavez, Shruti Prasanna Shiti, Caroline Muliz Chitty, Lydia Elizabeth Cholak, Isabella Diane Claire Kovacs, Ansley Evelyn Clark, Keenan Lane Clark, Catherine Louise Clark, Sydney Elise Cobb, Cole Mitchell Cochran, Connor Robert Cohen, Ariana Gabriela Cohen, Delaney Margaret Collins, Robert J. Colon, Analisa Concepcion, David Contreras Reyes, Vanessa Contreras Medrano, Tyler A. Cook, Dana Elizabeth Cooper, Caillou L. Copes, Anthony Corley, Anthony Nicholas Cavino, Daniel Cox, Jackson Daniel Crump Freebus, Cristian Cruz, Carla Cruz, Alexander Nehemiah Cruzado, Carla Mara Cuadrado, Sara Patricia Cuellar, Hannah Grace Cummings, Isaac Warren Coutrere, Victoria da Silva Caballo, Faith Ann Daniel, Riley Christopher Davison, Tristan Christine Davolos, Morgan Grace Day, Jasmine Victoria de la Paz, Tania Delgado Flores, Alanis Betsabeth Delira, Eric Borjas Dimas, Michael Lynn Disney, Andrew David Dominic, Kyle Donaldson, Stephanie Dong, Tabitha Diane Dooley, Emma Joy Douglas, Brian Alexander Douthit, Brandon Michael Dover, William Christopher Dreer, Trent Curtis Drinkard, Chase Allen Dressel, Shekinah Pearl Duffin, Vanessa Marie Dufour, Mason Walker Dunsmuir, Jillian Avery Esch, Nolan David Esch, Thomas Stone Eaton, Victoria Natalia Echevarria, Catherine Elizabeth Edgman, Rebecca Nicole Egan, Yvonne Wilfried Ekoto, Jordan Gray Ellis, Jordan Taylor Elsie, James Robert Engelert, Christopher Matthew Estep, Tristan Etheridge, Bethany Grace Etheridge, Kieran Thomas Evans, Logan Renata Evans, Karen Elizabeth Fain, Kyra Lee Feist, Kimberly Fallas Delgado, Alicia Brooke Fernandez, Armando Figueroa, Megan Rose Fitzgerald, Jolie Ann Fleckenstein, Brian Flores, Nicholas Flynn, Haley Anna Fortgang, Michael James Francis, Erica Franco, Major Ethan Frank, Chandler Blake France, Jordan Marie Friedel,
Ryan Allen Gambo, Grace Yvonne Gant, William J. Gant, Jessica Allison Garcia, Rosa Litlothley Garcia, Juan Antonio Garcia Tinoco, Emily Faith Garman, Piers Harrison Garamon, Valeria Garzon Betanca, Natasha Guevara, Aliyah Gazur, Kennedy Blythe Gentry, Elizabeth Ann Georges, Christopher Andrew Gerardo, Sherry G. Gerardo, Louis Samuel Giardina, Jack Thomas Gibson, Rory Gwen Gibson, Cayman Andrew Gilbert, Mariana de Oliveira Gomes, Blanca Stephanie Gomez, Jan Gomez, Alejandro Gomez, Isadora Almeida Gongalves, Ramiro Gonzalez, Charlotte Elizabeth Gordon, Benjamin Joseph Graff, Kennard Anthony Grasso, Evan David Gray, Darius Matthew Green, Riley Michael Green, Aiden Josephine Gregory, Shayna Morgan Grainer, Nicholas Everett Griffin, Sophia Marie Griffith, Jordan Embler Grott, Johanna Guevara, Katie Elizabeth Guillory, Amber Elizabeth Golbin, Emma Catherine Golbin, Grace Jane Gumbert, Caitlin Michelle Hales, Jeremiah Hall, Matthew Bruce Hall, Brandon James Hampton, Claire Hahn, Wendy Dong Hahn, Kendall Bristol Harden, Emma Nicole Harding, Haley Nicole Hart, Peyton Charles Hart, Justin David Hasty, Thomas Michael Hayes, William Edmund Hagee, Preston David Heim, Carly James Henderson, Nathaniel Henderson, Abigail Hernandez, Anna Denise Hernandez, Araceli Hernandez, Cesar Miguel Hernandez, Elizabeth Gladys Hernandez. Isai Hernandez. Jonathan Hernandez. Jennifer Hernandez Salgado. Ariel Osvaldo Herrera. Victoria Brooke Herringdine. Jenna Ruth Elaine Hester. Jacob Daniel Hill. Maya Hogan. Bridget Lee Holder. Nathaniel Allen Holt. Caitlin Hundal. William Emery Honay. Riley Alexis Hooper. Victoria Jewel Hooper. Devin Scott Horton. Gabriel Vega Horton. Lydia Darcy Horton. Madeline Audrey Horton. Namiah Uday Howard. Dalton Lane Hubbard. Neely Kate Hubbard. William Hudson. Brendan Vaughn Hughes. Hayden Cowell Humphreys. Kelsey Marie Hunt. Nicholas Jake Hayden. Jacob Dylan Ingram. Chloe Danielle Jackson. Caden Brian Jacobs. Caitlin Brooke Jean. Razim Jakubovic. Matthew Owen Jerome. Zachary J. Jean Baptiste. Matthew Ryan Johnson. Anaya Zyra Jones. Brianna Jewel Jones. Lillian Erna Josephine Jones. Rachel Jones. Todd Jameson Jorgensen. Joel Michael Joseph. Hayden Palmer Justice. Uday Kadala. Carolina Leslie Kaminsky. Petros Campilis. Ezra Hanbit Kang. Savik Ranth Kandhamani. Max Carlin. Juliet Alexis Kanosh. Victoria Ashley Kanosh. Logan Kawaki. Kylie Renee Kieva. Cameron Brent Kelly. Corrine Lindsay Kennedy. Therapat Kennedy. Miriam Avery Kennemore. Timur A. Kashimov. Kayla Denise Killebrew. Elizabeth Ann King. Isabella Donna King. Hayden Lee James Kingston. Madison Lee Kirkland, Georgia Jean Keckler, Aiden John Knight, Ryan Earl Knight, Jeremy Michael Coop, Megan Danielle Kramer, Morgan Reed Cron, Lainey Abigail Crons, Kyle Charles Kuhn, Ripley Bouquet Kurtz, Emily Citlali Labra Fuentes, Jacob Michael Lamb, Shannon Alexis Lamb, Julia Irene Lane, Morgan Grace Lanningham, Amelia Elizabeth Larson, Dakota Ryan Lawrence, Sydney Marie LaBeouf, Brianna Jolil Ladon, Parker A. Letvorowski, Christian Lee, Una Lee, Sophia Maria Loomis, Isabella Gray Lentz, Andiri Juliana Leon, Valeria Leon, Riley Ann Louise Leroy, Sean Lido, Caleb A. Lewis, Daniela Estefania Lacona, Danny June Lim, Matthew Little, Kyle Allen Litton, Jillian Ryan Lloyd, Junior Lopez, Luis Gerardo Lopez, Elizabeth Laura, Heidi Laura, Ivan Laura, Gabrielle Diana Loudermilk, Samiko Lee Lowry, Jaden Alexis Lothar, Nicholas Lozen, Kiernan Rita Lynch,
Chase Tyler Magersup, Dakota Vincent Maldonado, Anya Jules Manolastis, Maxwell Brenton Manis, David Scott Marfee, Daniel Kyle Martin, Emma Martin, Adrian Martinez, Jesus Martinez, Jonathan Martinez, Daniel Martinez Garcia, Emma Brooke Marzullo, Jordan Maddox, Eden Elizabeth Matz. Bailey Michelle McCachran. Ainsley Elizabeth McCannon. Cody Jackson McCarthy. Carly Faith McCleskey. Brandon Wayne McDaniel. Jade Alexis McDaniel. Connor James McIntyre. Matthew James McKenna. Brian Patrick McInturf. Ethan John McKinney. Ajani Stefan McNeely. Grayson Michael McKinney. Dakota Lee McNeil. Skylar Reese McPherson. Lewis Desmond Medic. Mariana Medina. Evan Stephen Meehan. Macilio Mendoza Cone. Tanner Jarrett McPherson. Leanne Mercado. Heidi Grace Merlot. Samantha Nicole Myers. Louis Angel Meir. Robert Neil Miller. Thomas Bruce Miller. William Thomas Miller. Anthony Manio. Stephen Alexander Ming. Diana Miranda Nava. Warren Missick. Goddess Anicia Montoya Gonzalez. Tracy Leon Moon. Garrett Liam Mark Moore. Jesus Daniel Mora Ramirez. Sergio Noel Maria. Evelyn Morjan Hernandez. Maniri Alondra Marino Guzman. Weston Elliott Morgan. Sydney Elizabeth Maroney. Alexis Cheyenne Morrow. Jackson Luke Morton. Ethan Gabriel Moat. Luke Bryant Muffley. Devin James Mullins. Michael Thomas Muth. Chelsea Victoria Neal. Emily Ann Nestor. Logan Curtis Neth. Devin Jarrell Netherland. Daniela Netzawaffle Money. Anna Noel Neville. Dalton Michael Newsom. Skylar Trey Nichols. Nathan Scott Nicholson. Molly Cecilia Nicholson. Emerson Caroline Noble. Grace Elizabeth Noble. Murphy Kathleen Knoll. Daniel Isadora Noguier. Abigail Kylie Nolan. Elijah Abiomi Knowles. William Cooper Norman. Frazier Donovan Kakoa Nori. Noah Gilchrist Kamalani Nori. Andrew Notel. Anna Guess Sagar Nguru. Ashley Brooke Nussbaum. Brady Garrison Nussbaum. Christian Scott Odom. Emma Taylor Orstrom. Carly Taylor O'Neill. Ethan Thomas O'Neill. Alexander Douglas Organ. Natalie Grace Orr. Eden Osmat Basic. Inaki Otigi Palladini. Henry Cooper Ott. Avery Michael Olette. Lucas Garrett Owens. Rosalind Jabelli Pacheco. Anushka Paul. Karis Leah Parker. Garrett Blake Parmalee. William Joseph Patella. Jordan Dakota Patino. Courtney Michelle Patton. Mia Dominique Patterson. Bailey Elizabeth Payne. Stephanie Payne. Isabella Pazamino. Jacob Peavy. Julia Rose Pellegrino. Alyssa Nicole Penny. Lindsay Laura Perdue. Claudia Idette Perez. Ader Alexi Perez. Marlon Perez. Mateo Rene Perez. Alex Perez. Carla Sarhi Perez Cruz. Melvin Kevin Perez Oxla. Osvaldo Perez Carpio. Isabella Elise Parisi. Robert F. Perry. Anna Catherine Petkosh. Reese Garrett Phillips. Michaela Elizabeth Pickens. Marissa Nicole Plager. Benjamin Grant Polston. Charles Michael Porter. Anastasia Portnov. Santiago Posada. Natalie Claire Posner. Jonathan Chandler Poston. Ethan James Powell. Amaya Nicole Price. Portia Lynn Pruitt. Grayson Walker Puckett. Anastasia Rose Raculia. Carson Tyler Race. Rosenda E. Raphael. Samin Rahman. America Abigail Ramirez. Marco Antonio Ramirez. Brittany G. Ramos. Pablo Rangel Hernandez. Lillian Irene Ruth Ray. Robert Braden Rediker. Nick Reyes Rojo. Kylie Danielle Reynolds. Madison Taylor Richardson. Jenna Marie Rickert. Amanda Jean Ryder. Leah Rios. Caleb Robert Rapay. Haley Ryree. Ian Anthony Robertson. Sean Alexander Rockney. Megan Lynn Rogers. Carter Paul Rodriguez. Haley Alana Rogers. Isabel Felice Romero. Jacob Romero. Norma Rosanna Romero Alvarado. Miracle Roscoe. Michael Bernard Ross. Anthony Jason Rivetto. Jennifer Ruiz. Marcus Tyler Russell. Elizabeth Alice Rymarev.
Yasmin Saber. Camila Saidanova. Teresa Lynn Sandon. Catherine Isabel Samples. Mateo Sanabria. Maria Camila Sanchez. Yuriana Itzel Sanchez. Andrea Vianney Sanchez Palomares. Cristian Eduardo Sanchez Silva. David Antonio Sanchez Silva. Michael Santos. Livia Santos Brito. Ethan Jameson Schaefer. Cole Richard Schneider. Caleb Joel Scott. Hayden Say. Madison Elaine C. Holbrook. Rebecca Leanne Seeley. Christian Hans Alexander Sipp. Isabella Ashley Solander. Jordan Talmadge Solander. Ava Jacqueline Sell. Catherine Jean Semler. Sarah Semler. Marquette Elizabeth Serwitz. Michael Stanton Serwitz. Omar Say. Dylan Seymour. Carson McKinley Schaefer. Emma Catherine Schaefer. Yassine Shakir. Matthew Paul Shellhouse. Christina R. Shepard. Brandon Kyle Shearer. Lindsay Amber Scherer. Ty James Sherman. Shakina Shindano. Kobe Schultz. Gavin Stewart Sievenpiper. Shane Eric Silva. Nishad Singh. Aaron Nicholas Skinner. Shelby Ann Smallwood. Audrey Grace Smith. Chloe Pike Smith. Grace Elena Smith. Leona Sue Smith. Matthew Daniel Lawrence Smith. Madison Grace Smith. Phoebe Pike Smith. Reagan Mackenzie Smith. Anna Jordan Soul. Jesse Solis. Fernando Soto Gallegos. Emma Catherine Sutherland. Paulo Victor Souza. Makwan Stringham. Chloe Grace St. Germain. Isabella Carlisle Stanley. Claire Elizabeth Starling. Grant W. Steiner. Ashley Eleanor Stemple. Amy Michelle Stevens. Ariel Isabella Stevens. Emma Janet Stevenson. Caitlin Ann Stokes. Shelby Madison Jane Stowers. Grace Christine Strano. Brittany Laura Strayhorn. Camden William Sutterth. Noah Benjamin Suh. Rahima Suleiman. Ridvan Suleimanov. Mackenzie Ann Sullivan. Beth Anissa Serrani. Raina Jean Swafford. William Braden Sweatman. Carl Caleb Swaggett. Alex William Zacox. Alexa Raquel Taylor. Devon Scott Taylor. Christopher Robert Tilgen. Andrew Reed Thomas. Tucker Zachary Thomas. Susie Galloway Thompson. Victoria Rianne Thompson. Amelia Marie Toledano. Michael F. Toman. Daniel Alexander Torres. Brian Torres Gonzalez. Jordan Tovar. Austin Hayward Trask. Brian Alexis Trejo. Oscar Trejo. Edgar Trejo. Amy Elizabeth Troba. Kristen Elizabeth Turner. Pierce Lane Tyner. Lauren Eloise Aldrich. Alexis Manuel Valdez Mendoza. Samara Leah Valencia. Alfredo Vallejo Aquino. Julia Elizabeth Valier. Taylor Alexis Van Varick. Janelle Deidre Vassal. Srikar Veradurupaka. Eric Vega. Anthony Joseph Verde. Juan Carlos Villagomez Rodriguez. Anthony Jason Villeda. Aslin Villeda. Faith Ellen Wagoner. Emily Robin Wakefield. Madison Elise Walbrun. Brianna Annette Walker. Lauren Caroline Wall. Logan Elizabeth Wallace. Alden Avery Weiner. Dustin Casey Ward. Shiva Ireland Warrener. Zachary Alexander Wasson. Ashley Nicole Wathen. Tristan Manuel Wathen. Faith Margaret Watson. Grace Waters. Silas Luke Watts. Gavin John Webb. Nicole Ray Webb. Mitchell David Weber. Andreas Marcus Joseph Willie. Anna Catherine Williams. Haley Fawn Wilson. Annabelle Hongyao Win. Janessa Margaret Winters. Peyton Wood. Garrett Wright. Ashlyn Graham Woody. Mary Beth Grace Young. Ethan Paul Young. Allison Brooke Youngblood. Armand Abbas Zaidi. Victoria Providenza Zamones. Demi Montserrat Zavala. Edgar Ivan Zavala Guzman. Victor Gigalo. Adrian Lee Zifchak. Kelly Uranci Zuniga. Irving Zuniga Ponce.
Testing? Okay. Congratulations, class of 2020. Give yourself a round of applause. Thank you, Mr. Blanford, Mr. Cardoso, Mr. Estelle, and Mr. Rockline for getting through all of those names. Everyone, please stand and join senior Emma Allen as she leads us in singing our alma mater. And the words are printed in your program, so sing along.
Thank you. Hate to do this to you guys again, but class of 2020, please rise again. As a symbol of completing this phase of our lives, please move your tassel from the right side of your cap to your left. And for, oh, all right, okay. Oh, all right, okay.
Shout out to my mom.
Same. And for one final time, let us ask you to... Whose house? Whose house? Whose house? Okay. All right, whatever.
Okay, we don't have our normal pomp and circumstance to leave, but you guys are graduates. Congratulations, 2020. At this time, students will be dismissed through these doors row by row. Go out and celebrate, guys. Have a great time. We love you.